What's up, guys? Kevin here from KevsPicks.com, and in this video I'm going to go over a couple of my Super Bowl 52 picks.
All right, so in this video I've got 4 different prop bets. If you follow me on Twitter or my emails, you know that I'm also on the Eagles plus 5.5. That was on January 22nd. The lines moved down to 4.5 or 4 in most places. Still like the Eagles at that line. Not as much at 4, but at 4.5 still like them. 5 is a pretty dead number. So Eagles plus 4.5 to 5.5, like that. If I had to get them at plus 4, I would still bet them at plus 4 personally. So I'm on the Eagles against the spread, and I'm also on the over 48 for a small wager. And then I've got 4 prop bets here that I really like. I'm going to be focusing on Eagles players just because I'm betting them, and there's a couple props that I really like. So first off, we got Alshon Jeffrey over 3.5 receptions. Really love this. This is my favorite bet for the Super Bowl. The price was -140 when I got it. It's up to -150, but still like it at that price. Alshon Jeffrey is the Eagles' #1 receiver, even though Aguilar has come on quite a bit this year. Jeffrey's still the #1 receiver. He's had 7 or more targets in 10 of his 15 regular season games. That excludes week 16, where they didn't have their starters play the full game. He had 10 or more targets in 5 of those games as well. In the 2 postseason games, he's had 4 and 5 catches. He only had 5 targets in each of those games, but they didn't have to throw too much as they were leading pretty big against the Vikings and leading against the Falcons as well. But still got over the 3.5 receptions in both those games. The Patriots gave up the 5th most receptions during the regular season. Their defense isn't too strong, although they did look better towards the end of the season and a little bit better in the postseason as well. But I still think the Eagles can throw the ball around a bit on them. And the Eagles are running a lot of run-pass options, RPO plays in the postseason, which are leading to some easy completions, and some of those are going to Jeffrey. He's probably one of the main targets on those plays. So really like this bet, Alshon Jeffrey over 3.5 receptions, my favorite bet for the Super Bowl. The next 3 bets are all based around Jay Ajayi. I think he's going to have a big game. You can see there I've got a bet on him to win the MVP that pays 20-1. Obviously, it's not too likely for a running back to win the MVP. It's somewhat rare, but at 20-1, really like that price. Also on him to have a rush over 14.5 yards. So we're looking at 15 or more. I believe the line on that was about -110. And then I also have him to get his rushing and receiving total yardage over 81.5 yards. Again, I think the price is just -110 on that. So I like all 3 of these bets. Obviously, the MVP is a little bit more of a flyer pick, but at 20-1, I think that's a good price for him. I see him having a really big game here in Super Bowl 52. Really like what he can do with the ball, and I got a couple things written down here. The Eagles have slowly started to lean on Ajayi since acquiring him. So they started off just giving him a couple touches here and there, but now he's their clear #1 back. He had 15 and 18 rush attempts in his first 2 postseason games and 3 receptions in each of those as well. And he's also combined for 99 and 98 rushing and receiving yards in those 2 games in the postseason. So we're getting 81.5 here for the line for his rushing plus receiving yards, and he's easily gotten past that in the 2 postseason games prior to this one. His longest rush was over 14.5 yards in 6 of his 9 games with the Eagles. So 66% of his games played with the Eagles, his longest rush has been 15 or more yards. A lot of them have been closer to 30, 40, even I think 70-yard rush in one of his games as well. I think that was against Cowboys. So he's had a lot of big runs, and I think he can do that this week against the Patriots. The Patriots gave up the 3rd most rushing yards against per attempt this year. They've looked a little better again towards the end of the season, and in the postseason they've looked a lot better. But still, the Eagles have a great O-line. Jay Ajayi, he's a beast. He's on turf. I think he's going to be quick in the Super Bowl. He's rested up, ready to go. I think he's going to have definitely a good game. I'm expecting from him. I wouldn't be surprised if his longest rush was over 14.5 yards. I like that line, and I really like him to get over 81.5 rushing plus receiving yards. And then you never know, maybe the MVP 20-1, really like that price. So I'm looking for Ajayi to have a big game. I'm really bullish on him this week in the Super Bowl, and hopefully he leads the Eagles to a win. Sorry if you're a Pats fan, but hopefully he leads the Eagles to a win and a cover for me. And that kind of wraps it up. If you do want to bet on the Pats side of things, I like Brandon Cooks over I believe it is 27. His longest reception, it was somewhere between 24 and 27. I like the over on that. I think he could get a long pass from Brady, one of the better deep ball passers in the game. And obviously Cooks is very quick. Even if he's not catching it in the air over 25 yards, he can catch a short one and take it for a long completion. So I like that. But I'll probably only throw a small bet on that because I want to focus on just a couple of these Eagles players, mainly the Alshon Jeffrey over 3.5 and these 3 Jay Ajayi props. So that's it for my Super Bowl 52 picks, guys. Whatever you bet on, I recommend going with your heart. If you do think the Patriots are going to cover and win, just go with that. Don't listen to anyone. Go with your heart, and it'll make the Super Bowl a lot more fun. If you think the Patriots are going to cover and someone convinces you to bet the Eagles and the Patriots do cover, you're going to be pissed. But if you are kind of in between it, or if you think the Eagles are going to cover, I recommend them. That's who I'm going to be on. And then I like these props as well. So if you're tailing these picks, good luck, guys. Either way, enjoy Super Bowl 52, and thanks for following along this football season. Talk to you later.